Hello folks, welcome. We're just about to get going. Just a couple of little additions that need to be done. Do pop into the chat, the comments. Let us know where you are. And I'm not sure how this is going to go. We'll just see if people have been interested to share their stories. Track you all know and love. Hello Naomi, thank you there for the heart on Facebook on Valentine's Day. Hope you can hear Loz. There we are. Loz is joining in. Now folks, I know you're here waiting for me, just bear with me. Loz is all set up. Checking what I'm up to. I just do need to go and get a cup of coffee and just check this camera on once again. That's a bit of an issue. Alright, doesn't it? Alright, just enjoy the track, which is titled Feeding the Ducks, and I'll be back in just a minute. Do have some contributions, and I'll be sharing my Bird Valentine. And look, hey, don't be shy, jump in the comments and get ready to share your Bird Valentine or a love story about birds. I don't care. Hey, let's be flexible. I'll be back shortly, like as long as it takes to boil a kettle and make a coffee. Okay, thank you for that, Naomi. Sound is doubling up, hey? Okay. How about now, Naomi? Is that better? I should only have one sound going out there. Yeah, that should be all. Let me know while I'm tell me while I'm out getting it. Is it me speaking or is it the music doubling up? That's the other thing I'd like to know. Okay, if that's good. Okay, well then I isolated the issue. I shall be back in a moment. I've just got to boil the kettle, and Loz is here, so maybe you'll hear Loz in the background. He's hoeing into a pear. And hopefully he'll start doing what he was doing earlier, because I can tell you all about that. Back in a moment. I better put something up so you know. G'day, bird nerds, near and far, lovers of life, lovers of chocolate, lovers of flowers. If you're into the whole Valentine's Day thing, I hope your significant other, secret admirer, creepy stalker, or someone similar has sent you some chocolates. Look, I really hope that things are a bit different. When I was when I was young, a million years ago, it was kind of cool to do the secret admirer thing, but nowadays it would just be hello, Loz. It just seems a bit creepy, doesn't it? I mean, you might be looking at a restraining order or something if you're not too careful. Folks, I'm Grant. I'm a bird nerd. I can get rid of that banner, can't I now? We don't need to put that in. Here are the rules. Basically, there are no rules. I would like you to tell me where you are watching or listening if you are at work with one earbud in your ears, so that we can kind of be a bit interactive. Who will I say hello to? I'll also note that if you're on Instagram, I have to keep swapping out to have a look. So be patient if you're on Instagram. I will get to comments on Instagram. I just can't bring them in the way I can for other people's. Like, for instance, Naomi saying hello. So appreciate that, Naomi. Let's see, who have we got? We've got YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Maybe on Twitch. What's going on, Twitch? And let's have a look. We'll get over to Instagram. Oh, hello. That's nice to see. I got a happy Valentine's wish on Instagram, so that's great. Naomi is in Springwood in the Blue Mountains. Look at this fella, will you? Having a go. Loz wasn't very interested in a bath today, but I have hung for Loz, my Valentine's present for Loz, who is my bird media advisor. He wasn't keen on being called the co-host because that meant that he had to show up, and he/she. I was informed that Loz's pronouns are bird and Loz. They're the pronouns for this one. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you very much. Where was I? Oh, yeah, today my present for Loz was I went out and I got some sprigs of just eucalypt foliage, and Loz has been going crazy over them, shredding them, jumping up and down, displaying. I'm more and more convinced that Loz was really out of condition and had probably either been not looked after or had been a lost bird for quite some time, because now that I've got Loz on a mix of vet-approved, what do they call them? Nectar and blossom pellets, and 2 different types of soluble lorikeet and lorry feed. He really prefers the taste of one to the other, but I think the one he doesn't prefer, that Loz doesn't prefer, is probably better in that it's less garishly packaged. Anyway, we just get. So I've just done that for Loz today. Hung the sprigs, been jumping up and down, having a great time. Wasn't very keen on a bath so far today, and yeah, becoming more and more energetic and more alert every day. when we were doing the bath today, Loz had the eagle eye on the sky, which is a sort of behaviour looking alert for raptors, but I had not seen that level of alertness before. So that's good, I'm guessing. Now trying to check out my hair. Okay, this is a good one. Naomi's got a question. How do I bathe Loz? Okay. How I bathe Loz is I have a large plastic tray that is actually the base of, I don't know, a 12, 14-inch plant saucer, basically. And I 3/4 fill it, so maybe up to, 3.5, 4 centimetres of tepid water, and I put it on the table outside. I take the cage out and pop it next door. I take this little stand that Loz doesn't mind sitting on, and I pop that out there, and we've got a chair next to the table. I sit down, let Loz out, then Loz comes and sits on me for a while. I splash the water, create some movement and some noise, and within a minute or two, Loz will be down there checking it out and then in there and having a great time. Some days he'll stay in the water for 10, 15 minutes. Some days like today, a couple of minutes and just done. So, yeah. Now, the water bowl that I have in the cage is actually deep enough for Loz to get in, and sometimes Loz will do that. G'day, Vicky. Vicky's at work in the Hawkesbury. Okay, sort of northwest of Sydney. Would we say that is fair? Received flowers yesterday before the price hike. Well, I can tell you, my mum had a florist shop when I was a kid, and I can tell you the price hike happens about a week or so before Valentine's. But yes, I get the point. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas Day, they are the days that florists make nearly all of their money, and funerals are good. Do I have any concerns, Naomi asks, about butcher birds here? No. The concern I do have for when Loz is outside and if I'm not right there, if Loz is in the cage, and like if there's a good spot where I can hang him underneath the kumquat or mandarin tree, with mandarin straight outside my window. There are cats nearby, but none of my immediate neighbours have a cat. So that's really the only concern, is whether there's a cat going to come across along the fence or something. Very rarely are there butcher birds around here. I haven't heard any this season. So no. Well, look, I'm only letting Loz out when we're outside, when I'm there, like out of the cage, when I'm there. So that minimises that. The main thing is when I get the harness for Loz, and when Loz is friendly enough, and we're nearly there. He doesn't run away from my finger and everything now. So when Loz is tame enough that putting a harness on Loz won't cause stress, well then I'll take Loz out on walks, and then the only concern I've got is making sure there's no contact with any wild birds, or to have him. There we are. Lorikeet's just called as they flew over, and there we are. Yeah, saying hello to the rallies. Yeah, there we go. It's just making sure that there's no contact with parrot beak and feather disease, or completely limit that as much as I possibly can. Consequently, Loz can't go in the in the bird bath at the front of the house where the wild birds come in and drink. So, now I got one of those fantastic big thumbs up. What can someone own up to who did that? Was that you, Naomi, or was that Vicky? Like I'm suspecting that that's a that's a Facebook thing, but I don't know. Okay, no comments there on Instagram, so that's cool. Oh, they're funny. Instagram is still showing starting soon, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Instagram. Maybe I won't even bother with it anymore. I don't know. Okay, well, Valentine's Day. It wasn't Naomi. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know who it was, but it was cool. Maybe it's a. Is there anyone on Twitch? Maybe it's a Twitch thing. No, it's not a Twitch. Maybe it's a X thing. Gee, I don't know, but it's cool. Whoever did that big thumbs up, do it again or find another thing that. Okay, so it wasn't Vicky. So that makes me wonder whether it's someone on, whether it's a YouTube or a Twitter thing. But it's really cool. I don't know if you saw it. It looks really cool when someone does that. Oh, Loz, you're a funny thing. You really are. You really are. He's going to appear in. He's going to look at me shortly. This is. Yeah. All right. Well, I can tell you, I did call for submissions, but I didn't push it really, really hard, and I got 2, and they're both from Naomi. So. Naomi, I'm going to play your Valentine now that you sent, and then we'll do the story after that, and then I'll let everyone know my number 1 Bird Valentine, and then hopefully that will you're a funny thing, Loz, will spark some conversation.
My Bird Valentine is the Rose Robin male. Look at him with his absolutely gorgeous pink breast. Yep, I think he's just adorable. And he comes to visit me every year at my house. But closely followed by another one is this guy. The Splendid Fairy Wren. I think he's also stunning. This guy has not quite finished changing colour, but it'll all go completely blue in the end. And he's absolutely beautiful. And I was so chuffed to see him for the first time when I was in Victoria. Anyway, an ode to my 2 Valentines.
There we are. Now, I don't know. I hope you could all hear that. It was a bit faint. The male Rose Robin, and Naomi noted that the Rose Robin comes in to visit Naomi in her garden. And so that's pretty cool. I reckon that is really, really cool. And the Splendid Fairy Wren, not to be confused with the Superb Fairy Wren. And you must have seen the Splendid Fairy Wren somewhere in northwest Victoria, would be my thought there. I know fairy wrens really push buttons, don't they? They're such a cool bird. Let me just check. Oh, apparently you still haven't started on Instagram. Oh my. All right, I'll only go back there once or twice more. Is Naomi, flesh it out a little bit with the Rose Robin. Is it just the appearance of the is it just that it's such a nice, when they plump up, when they fluff up and plump up, they're very, very attractive. And the Rose Robin has a really soft, beautiful pink flush on the breast. So yeah, Naomi says that Woomalang saw the splendid fairy wren. You'd have to be a chance to see the Mallee emu wren in that area too. So good luck. Yeah, so flesh out a little bit like that. Hello everyone on YouTube and more on X. Hello Twitter folk. If you'd like to on Twitter, if you'd like to make a comment, you can. It will come up, and then we can talk about it, like Naomi has mentioned about her Bird Valentine. I'm going to put up now. I'm going to put up my number one absolute Bird Valentine, and I mean, there we are. My Bird Valentine. Oh, here we are. There we are. My Bird Valentine is the Eastern Yellow Robin, and it's really because when I was a kid, I used to see them all the time walking around the foreshore, and they are curious, inquisitive, and as I got older and I would be, perhaps helping people in the garden or doing, when you're doing odd jobs and things like that. And I grew up, I think I've said many times before, on the Mornington Peninsula in the days when it was still very rural and before it became a suburb for the well-to-do, a dormitory suburb. The Eastern Yellow Robin would be around all the time, checking it, just watching what you're doing. And if you were walking, they would follow you around, not only sort of 15, 20 metres behind you. So very inquisitive, and I think they're fantastic. So Naomi is answering my question, it's not just the colour for the rose robin. A very interactive male when he comes. He comes down and calls and uses the bath, just a sweet ball. Even the female is very interactive. Yeah, I think, look, we've both chosen, and Naomi also loves the Eastern Yellow Robin as well. Yeah, it's really hard to pick a favourite. I mean, I knew that this was going to be one of those subjects where, what's your favourite? And it's a little bit more than what is your favourite bird. It's for me, what is the bird that you have like the fondest feelings for and the fondest memories of? I think there's lots of birds that I really, really, really like, and that I, having been a bird keeper when I was a kid, I mean, Burke's parrot, or the sunset parrot, as I think it's being called now. You couldn't find a nicer bird. They're really pleasant. They have a really sort of, anthropomorphizing them, they seem to be very agreeable. They certainly don't mind being around people, a bit like this one here. But this one here, the rainbow lorikeet, is not my favourite bird overall, because get a group of these together and they're thugs. So yeah, Eastern Yellow Robin wins hands down. All right, all of you in the chat and in the comments. Oh, they're coming in thick and fast on YouTube, on Facebook, and on the Twitter, on the X. Please let me know your, what's the bird you love? Look, I don't care if it's your chook. I don't care if it's your chooks or a duck you had when you were a kid. Just tell me a story. Tell me a story. I have another one. Oh, and hello. I just got a message on my phone, a notification. So I can confirm that we are going international today. So that's great. Um, so hello Philippines. That's always good. I do have a I do have a bird in the Philippines that I have uh, a very soft spot for too, and that is the um, Philippines bleeding heart. The uh, uh, particularly the Mindoro Philippines bleeding heart pigeon. I have not seen one in the wild. That would be one of my absolute favourites. Also, the um, Philippine cockatoo is something else I really would love to see in the wild. But there we go. No, still no action on Instagram too, by the way. So I don't know. Why do I even bother with Instagram? So let me know your favourite, please. Your Bird Valentine. And Naomi did send me in another a story. So this is a little bit longer. Uh, let's give it a go, and hopefully it's loud enough. If it isn't loud enough, please let me know, and we'll see if we. Well, I'll tell you what it said. Um, Bird Valentine story from Naomi.
Hi, Anton gang. I thought I'd do one more Valentine bird. This is the wedge-tailed eagle, as you probably can all tell. Now, my story behind it being my Valentine's bird, or my Valentine's raptor, is when I was I think I was about 7 years old. I was in the car with my father, and we were driving along, and we saw a bird injured on the side of the road, a big bird injured on the side of the road. My dad very much cares for wildlife, and he had in his car, he had some blankets and some towels, and thankfully some yellow pages. And so he went out and he caught this bird that couldn't fly. He chased it around first for a while, and then he caught this bird, and he wrapped it up in a towel and a blanket, and then he popped it on my knee with the yellow pages on my lap so that it wouldn't scratch me, as he said. Now, as it turned out, it was a wedge-tailed eagle, and its claws actually went through at least half the yellow pages. It wasn't like the most massive yellow pages. It wasn't like the Sydney yellow pages. It was the Southern Highlands yellow pages, but it was still a pretty darn big book. And anyway, we dropped him off. Anyway, from that moment on, I've been enchanted by these birds. And so this guy is my third Valentine's. And this photo was taken in a place called it was called World's End, and it was absolutely desolate, but it was wonderful. It had rainbow bee eaters, black-faced cuckoo shrike, black-shouldered kites. It was just wonderful, and it was in South Australia. Anyway, thanks.
Fabo. Now, let's just for a minute imagine that scenario. Naomi is sitting down with a phone book, and I'm sure everyone in Australia can picture, well, everyone in Australia who's older than maybe 25. I think that's about probably when, uh, just trying to think, they would have been teenagers and would have started to be interested in phone directories. But the what thinking maybe at 3 centimeters, 2.5 centimeters deep were those regional or phone books. I mean, we had one for the Mornington Peninsula, of course, similar one when I went down to Gippsland. You just would get one for the 051 or 052 area, or when I was a kid, the 059 area. But just imagine, do you all realise how big a wedge-tailed eagle is? That must have been 2/3 the size of Naomi sitting there, and with those talons going almost right through a phone book, albeit a regional phone book. But if you've got an old phone book, telephone directory, go out with your sharpest knife and see how far you can stab through a phone book. And I tell you, it's not far. So the strength and the sharpness of those eagle talons and the pressure that they can apply when they close their feet is amazing. Now, let me... I got to find, where was I looking up? But I have another species which is sort of probably my second wild bird species that is a Bird Valentine, and I can show it to you now. Thanks, Loz. It's the olive whistler, and not only because they're a bit of a challenge to have a look at, to actually find, just because of where they live, but the first time I saw one was at a family property. I think I've probably told the story before, but I was amazed at seeing this bird down on the ground, sort of behaving a bit like, I don't know, a blackbird, I guess. But to think that bird was really closely related to the golden whistlers, which I was really familiar with and had seen around. I'm talking about being 5 or 6 years old, I guess, when I first saw an olive whistler. I must say there were also plenty of eastern yellow robins around at the... back then they were called southern yellow robins at the time, but I was just captivated, and because it was like in a wet sclerophyll forest, and it was near a river, and it was, just one of those magic memories that you can have as a kid. Thanks, Loz. So they're my wild bird Valentines. Now I'm really wanting, Vicky, I would like you to tell me yours, please. Who else have we got in here? Where are the rest of the riot squad today? I wouldn't be surprised if people are actually having to take their significant others out for lunch or something like that. That's okay. The other question I want to pose to everyone, I'm just ditching Instagram. It's still saying that we're, that's a joke, isn't it? Still hadn't gone live. It was still showing the starting soon. Crazy. And how long have we been going? It's like how far the delay is. So, 47 minutes. So, yeah, there we go. Forget that. Now, what did I want to tell you? This is another childhood story. When I was a kid, we had I had some ducks and some geese, and I really like geese. I really like geese as sort of as a pet. They're so protective of their nests. They can become imprinted and be pretty funny. They get along with dogs. They're just good. I wouldn't recommend anyone having them as a pet unless you have quite a lot of area for them. They're certainly not just a backyard bird. They're so large, but also they poop all over the place. But they're very entertaining, and they have a lot of nice behavioural traits as long as they're not nesting. So yes, Vicky, if you're still here, I would love to know your Bird Valentine, and any of the other Riot Squad members in the house. Let's have a look. We've got there's lots of YouTube here, so come on YouTube, what's going on? And Naomi's got a comment here. Yeah, the whistlers are a fabulous group of birds. I love all the whistlers that I've seen. I would love to see the Red Lord, Gilberts. I was really looking out for white-throated, mangrove, golden whistlers as well up north, but no luck. I do like that they're called thickheads. I like that. I've had friends who had them visiting their gardens, and they can become inquisitive and fairly tame. Oh, Loz is doing something to the back of my neck. What are you doing, Loz? Yeah. Okay, now, folks, I'm going to just put up a like a loopy video where I've got the intermission one up there. I'll put that up in a minute. I'm just going to go and check. I can't remember. Did I tell you? I know I put up that we'd had a bit of a pet thing here this morning. Shadow, who you may well have heard barking in other live streams, has not been very well, and my housemate had just taken Shadow up to the vet, and they're now, well, I can hear my housemate is back, and I don't know if Shadow came home and if Shadow's well. Oh, I can hear something happening, so I'm just going to go and find out. I'm going to play another piece of music, and I'm going to put the intermission up, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so don't run away. Oh, look, I forgot to put the music on loop again too, so there we are. I'm back, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. Good news. Well, it's kind of good news. Where Shadow's jaw, well, it was actually his gum, could see was really swollen, and it swollen up the side of his face, and it was really, had come on really quick. So we were worried about that. And he's just been up to the vet. I'll put something on a bit quiet. What will we listen to? How about one called Night Driving? Let's go with that. Let's just chill out. And Naomi has said domestic chooks and ducks are lovely pets. I had a pet rooster. Yeah. All right. So the deal with Shadow. Thanks, Loz. He really likes the hair at the back, and I was supposed to cut my hair on Sunday, and I didn't get around to it, and tidy up. Actually, let's put that to the community. Do you like it better when I go old wild man of the bush look? Like, do you remember me at the end of the trip with Millie and how fluffy and wild I was there? Or do you? Gee, it's been a while since I was extremely close cropped with no facial hair and nothing on the top of my head. What do you reckon, folks? As you can tell, I'm so hung up about my appearance. You know, I worry so much about it. Not. I'll put that out to the vote as well. Okay, what's happened with Shadow is it looks like he has broken a tooth, chewing on a bone at some stage, and that there may be a bit of an infection in there. So he's going back tomorrow for antibiotic injection, and it doesn't look like it's a serious problem. Shadow was just moping about and very unlike his normal self today. But when we noticed the swelling, we were concerned, because Shadow is usually, he follows my housemate around whenever he goes outside. Shadow's right behind. But today all Shadow was doing was lying on his bed and not barking at me. When I get up really early, Shadow usually comes for a bit of a cuddle. None of that today, So here we go. Even Loz seemed to be a bit concerned. Okay, Naomi goes for wild man. Okay. Naomi goes for wild man. The only thing I will say, Naomi, is when I actually cut my hair off and cut my facial hair off so that there's no, like, grizzly grey, people tell me that I'm if they meet me for the first time when I'm like that, they think I'm 25 years younger, so that's pretty good. Yeah, tooth and gum issues are so painful. So, and I can tell you, Shadow, when I just popped out, and he's hanging around. I think the fact that someone's played around, looked in his mouth and whatnot, that he seems to be fine. Now he's back to his happy usual self. So that's really, really, really good news in this place. I was hoping Loz would put on a bit of a performance for you guys today, because he was he's been dancing in the spray of the and I'll pick it up and I'll show you. I'll show you what he's been having a great time playing with today. It's been the best entertainment that I've ever seen, except for big flower blossoms. Nothing makes a bird happier than this. Just hanging in his cage. There we are. And as you can see. There we are. So they're not massively big gum nuts, and they're quite young. They're from the flowers from, I don't know, 4 weeks ago at the most. So you can get an idea of how quickly the eucalypts grow. But she was jumping up and down, displaying, sort of playing bob up in the spray of foliage. So there we are. So folks, that's really, if no one else is going to volunteer their Valentine birds, I thought you'd all have a thought here, and I especially thought that someone other than Naomi would be telling me that a fairy wren was their favourite. I'm not at all surprised that Naomi has nominated the rose robin, and I've got to say, both rose and pink robins, when you see them out in the bush, are really gorgeous. But no one's told me about a rosella. No one's got an eastern rosella story. Pelicans. Why isn't anyone in love with a pelican or a duck? I mean, well, we've talked domestic ducks, but come on, and anywhere in the world, ducks and swans. Swans, the symbol of everlasting love. I really thought the Valentine's thing might have got a bit more of a few more comments at the very least. I forgot to loop the music. Let's loop it again. What are we going to play? I'll put some lo-fi on. I just feel like chilling out now. It's very stressful. I was very, very stressed about Shadow this morning. Oh, and I got a bit caught up in some online internet drama this morning too. People having a go at each other, and I wasn't very happy with it. And someone walking past this morning early while I was making something to eat very early this morning. Obviously, they were out for a very early morning walk. We've got a neighbour who looks like Peter Dutton, and that if that's not a reason to look at moving out of your neighbourhood, I can't think of anything else that would be. Because of the concern about Shadow today, I mean, we spent a lot of time just fussing over Shadow this morning. I haven't really looked at the news, but I'm pretty sure there's no good news, is there, in terms of... oh, hello, Loz. Where are you going? Any good conservation news? Anyone want to just tell me something? Tell me something. So yeah. So that's all I've got for you. I just wanted to tell you my Bird Valentine story. Naomi, thank you very much, Naomi, for sharing yours. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss any in the emails. So I'm just going to put another song on. I'm trying to find some more safe music that we can play too, apart from these tracks that I keep playing over and over. Let's see. I'll put Into Space on and see if I like this one. Yeah, I'm not so into this one. I'll stick with Feeding the Ducks. I like Feeding the Ducks. Let's pop that up. So there we are. You can see Loz is having a love affair with my headphones. There we are. Well, thanks, Naomi. I'm glad you popped yours in. I appreciate you've gone to the effort of telling us that. I mean, look, we can't. We talk about the wedge-tailed eagle. Actually, talk about any raptor, right? Oh, I saw a hobby yesterday too. Again, I haven't seen one for a while, but here I was on the bus coming back from the shopping centre, and it was streaming towards the Green Gully Reserve just over Sunshine Avenue. Wow, it looked in good nick. Really looked in good nick. But raptors, I admire them. I really like seeing them, but I don't want to go and give one a cuddle. Not like whenever I see Burke's parrot or sunset parrot, as it's called, or even cockatiels. Like cockatiel, and when you see cockatiels in the wild compared to one that's in a cage, you see that white flash on their shoulder as they're flying in a group. I mean, cockatiels are a bird I got a real soft spot for, but I can't feel the same about a brown goshawk. I admire and respect them, but boy jingos, I don't want to get close to them. Close enough is through the camera lens or through the binoculars. Thanks, Rosalind. A bit of Facebook love there, so it's good we getting the love hearts. The love hearts on Valentine's Day. Naomi, so Pacific Buzzer. Now, aren't they really cool? If you haven't seen one before, and the first time you see a Pacific Buzzer, what's correct, Buzzer or Baza? I've always called them a Baza, but I've heard bird people calling them Bazzers. Yeah, they seem like the safest to cuddle with their little top knot cuties. I still wouldn't want to get anywhere near those talons, even though they're smaller than the wedge-tailed eagle. Oh, hold on, Loz, where'd you drop that? That's a... don't get a lorikeet if you've got any problems with bird poop, because there's one thing, they're just non-stop. The liquid mixtures come in and it goes straight out. And it's different consistency, whether it's been eating a pear or an apple or just on the nectar mix or whatnot. And trying to get him over onto a pellet diet, but that's not he, she. My pronouns are bird. Bird or Loz. Yeah, so there we are. That's really about it today. I can't. I could keep waffling on. Yeah, Naomi's recounting her. Actually, anyone who's watching at the moment, have you only just joined? Like, have you seen the videos that we've played? Would you like me to replay them? I'm sure Naomi won't mind. We can play them again, because this comment of Naomi's is referencing one of Naomi's video submissions for today. Such an eye-opening moment holding the wedge-tailed eagle. Was in awe, yeah. And they're majestic, but they're brutish. They have a malevolence, I think, in their gaze. But of course, that's just anthropomorphizing them as well. So who knows what they think and what they feel. Okay, have you not seen the videos? Let me know in the comments if you want me to play the little video submissions again, and I will, if you would like me to, and then you will know Naomi's Bird Valentine and her story about the wedge-tailed eagles. So I'll just wait a little. I'm going to have to put another bit of music on now that one's finished. I've only got a few that I can play. Let's play acoustic cinematic. Oh yeah, this one's not too bad, is it? I don't mind this one. Its eyes were covered. Yes, we're talking about the wedge-tailed eagle. Yeah, and isn't it amazing how you can pacify birds by covering up their eyes or their head? You know, think of falconry, which is so unlike so many other animals. Like, you can't just cover a cat with a towel and, you know, it's not going to stop trying to scratch your eyes out. It just lashes out no matter what. So, yeah, very good. All right, repeating myself again, folks. Do you want to see the videos again before we pull up stumps? Well, we listen to the lovely track called... Oh, thanks, Loz. You know, where'd you do that? Oh, you're just eating my headphones again, aren't you? Okay. Yes. All right. Just waiting. Did I put lo-fi on before? I did, didn't I? We've had... Let's put night driving on again. Take it off the loop. Well, I was really hoping for some input from the Twitter community today, but the X's have let us down again. Yep, I don't really have anything else to give you. Sorry, folks. I'll just keep these comments open for a little bit longer. I might go and watch some J-pop. Relax with some J-pop after a stressful morning. I'm surprised nobody's even got a canary or a budgerigar story for us that they'd like to share. I'm surprised about pelicans. I think a lot of people have I would assume that people have been on a trip. Oh, this is Australia too. I don't think this would be a very common story for the rest of the world, but I think we've all gone to those coastal resorts where there's a pier, a jetty, and people are fishing and they're throwing their fish back and there's pelicans all over the place. Oh, Naomi didn't tell us the end of the story. Okay. So this is the wedge-tailed eagle story. So the bird went to the vet, had a broken wing, was in rehab for months and released. And the carer told Dad it was strong and healthy and released. And the amazing thing, Naomi, about a wedge-tailed eagle is they live for a long time. So if it ever came across you or your dad again, there's probably a good chance that it may remember you. So, very, very good. Saw a pelican eating ducklings. It changed my opinion on them. But look, there you go. You're anthropomorphizing the pelican because you think, oh, well, it's all right if it eats fish and frogs and lizards or whatever, but no little baby birds. I mean, pelicans are murder birds equally as much as the wedge-tailed eagle's a murder bird. So, yeah, I mean, we just got to remember that. Dabbling ducks are really cute, though, aren't they? Those of you who have had pet ducks will know that there's a lot about having a pet duck that, their total cuteness goes out the window when they start pooping all over the concrete path. Same goes for geese, but ducks have a pretty good personality, though, I think, or behaviours. I don't know. Is a behaviour an indicator of personality? And so yes, we all anthropomorphise. Nobody's got a canary story, a budgie story. I mean, I really like Burke parrots, sunset parrots from my days as a kid, having them in a cage though. Zebra finches, star finches. Zebra finches are really cool. In my view, if they lived longer, I'm sure they would be super popular amongst the general public. But unfortunately, they pop off. Naomi saw them eating full-grown pigeons as well. When talking about pelicans, they are murder birds. Well, yes, and they're murder birds that coordinate their murdering. Have you seen them rafting and circling and herding the fish towards their impending doom? So they're smart. I have never seen a pelican eat a pigeon. I have seen a pelican eat a silver gull, and the silver gull was obviously injured or sick, and it went down in, and you could watch it go down the neck, down the throat. Naomi loves butcher birds, but is wary of them. Butcher birds will terrorise birds in cages. They will, even if they're not able to get to the bird in the cage, just the fact that they're there will terrorise them. Butcher birds are very much a murder bird. And why are they called butcher birds? Well, in the Northern Hemisphere, they have shrikes, and shrikes hang their prey, whatever they've caught, on thorny bushes, or wedge them into forks. I don't know if they do it to age them, but yeah, butcher birds do the same thing, like having, rabbits or sausages or whatever on a butcher's hook in the front of the shop. Butcher birds will do the same kind of thing. Reputedly, I have to say, I have never first-hand witnessed that, but I have read it in lots of bird books. There's a good question. Has anyone actually seen a butcher bird do the reputed butchering or hanging of prey? I'm not sure if I'm misremembering this, because it was like when I was a kid, and you misremember things sometimes. I seem to recall a kookaburra, after stunning a skink, a fairly large skink, and wedging it in the fork of a messmate stringy bark when I was a kid, a eucalypt. But I'm not sure if my friend and I were sort of talking about the fact that the kookaburra had stunned and was sort of tenderising the lizard. I'm not sure whether we're misremembering it, but Naomi has never seen a butcher bird hanging prey. Come on, folks, in the comments. There's enough of you here today. Someone must have a butcher bird story, or maybe have you got a pet bird? Like, did you have a canary that made you love birds, or a budgie? One of my great aunts had Now, I'm not sure. She had at least 4 cages of budgies that she used to take out to the front, to her front porch. She lived in a little single-story terrace house in inner city Melbourne, and she would bring the cages out to the front of the house for the sunshine. And what I remember most about this, and this is going back years, because she's been dead a long time, and she was probably 80 odd back then. It's this really dark, long corridor, and would go back to this little kitchen. But in the front sitting room, she had had stands for all of the birds, but she also took them into the very small backyard in the afternoon as well. But I remember her having the cages out the front, and I was always impressed by budgerigars. Just that they seemed like nice birds, but nothing can compare to seeing a flock of budgerigars in the wild, to seeing them in a cage. Like, no, they just don't even seem like the same kind of bird. All right. Oh, I'm just saying. Oh, Bruce, are you in the live audience? I just saw your thing on Twitter. If you are, say hello. Also, you too, Dean Mack. If you're on here, pop in and say hi. Give us your Bird Valentine. Surely someone else has a bird that they kind of love. I had Australian king quail, or little quail. What are they called now? I'm sure they're still called king quail, aren't they? I had those when I was a kid too, in the same aviary as the Burke's parrot, and they're very endearing little creatures. Wow. Well, seriously, folks, come on, you YouTubers who are watching, and you, the Facebookers, I think, have been commenting. What's your Valentine's bird? Look at this here again. What are you doing, Loz? What are you doing? Preening. I preen. I preen, I bathe, I eat, I poop, I chirp. That's it. Actually, do any of you others in the audience now, and look, if you're watching later, like if you can tell, future you can tell past me, if you have a bird like this one. Do you have a pet bird? Look, seriously, folks, that's about it. I'm just rambling now, aren't I? I can't think of anything else that I want to impart. I've shared my love for the eastern yellow robin. I'm sure I've told the story too about digging in a veggie patch, creating a vegetable garden, and sticking the fork in the ground while I was doing edging, and the eastern yellow robin would come and land on the handle of the fork. It's very hard not to like a bird that appears to be taking a lot of interest in what you're doing, especially when you're a kid. You think, oh, wow, it likes me. The bird likes me. Whereas, really, the bird sees an opportunity to eat a worm. I'm not sure that there has ever been an eastern yellow robin that has cared one iota for me, but I still like them. Naomi, thank you. Thanks for your submissions. Folks, when we do things like this, we try and do a little bit of fun. It's much easier if you send me something, and then we can, have a bit of fun. Let's see what's coming up. Looking at my whiteboard. Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. Habitat gardening. I have a topic in mind, but I'm leaving it open just in case something changes. So that's the next time you're going to see me, unless something pops up and I've got something interesting to tell you. And I will, of course, be back on Monday. If you were in the... did any of you twig to the giant, colossal stuff-up that I made on Monday when I was speaking with Jacinta Humphrey? Which I enjoyed very much, by the way. I really love the work Jacinta's doing, and the cohort of people who are working in the sort of urban bird conservation space. Would anyone like to... I'm quite happy to own up to my complete and utter stuff up, and Jacinta was amazing the way she handled it. Did anyone else pick up what it was? Should I just tell you, or should I say, go back and watch it and see if you can work it out? There it is. There. Actually, it's not that much of a stuff up, and I'll tell you why. Where's the? Where are we? I'll tell you why. Naomi's gone to something technical. Audio on before the start. No, it wasn't. No, that's just I just do that all the time. I did that today, didn't I? When I had the video scroll over twice. No, I actually spent the article that we went over in detail of Jacinta's was one that she published last year, but it was on the same project. But what I did want to go over with her was one that isn't on open access, and she had to send me the PDF, but it didn't have as many nice graphics and stuff. And I was reading it's got very similar graphs, but it had all of the species in it, and a bit more about the behaviours that the birds were adopting in all of the different areas, and whether the vegetation cover and the landscape type were predictors of what might be there and what the behaviours might be, how they might behave. And it's actually called Avoid, Adapt or Exploit, Revisiting Bird Responses to Urbanisation Using a Novel Landscape Approach. But I really found the earlier one, and of course it's the same project, right? So, but the final one was actually the whole project, and the conclusions of the whole project. And I hadn't made a conscious choice to talk about the earlier one rather than the later one. And Jacinta was just a trooper. She just went on, didn't acknowledge that I'd made the stuff up, and we just powered on. So I think it was just as useful and everything, but hey, these things happen. I'll show you. Let me... this is the one, and it's not on open access, so that was all another reason why I didn't really want to go through the whole thing, because all of you wouldn't have been able to go and look it up. But you can see the graphs are really similar. But this is the culmination of the whole project, and here's all the birds that were recorded, and the interaction or the prevalence with house, no house, numbers of houses in an area, and then there was whether birds avoid, adapt, or exploit that sort of built environment that we were talking about the other day, with domestic homes in it. So, so I will ask. Well, I have mentioned to Jacinta that I think what I'll try and do, so that we can really talk about Jacinta's project again, maybe try and get her on a sort of group discussion again with you mean what were the total number of birds or the total species? I can tell you what the. Is that the one? No, that's that guy I didn't want to talk to again, isn't it? This is Jacinta's one that's on open access. Methods, study design. Sorry, everyone, if you're waiting for me to say things. Just have a look. Properties, where are they? Data analysis. We skipped over the whole data analysis. You need longer. Jacinta only had until 1:30 really that day to go on. Or where are we? In the study, there were 76 bird species, 71 native, 5 exotics, and only 10 were found in all the 30 landscape sites. But 10 of those were found in only one site. And that included the data and scarlet robin. So there we go. Total species, Naomi, was. So there were 30 sites, 30 species, and 10 native species were recorded everywhere, and including the Australian magpie and the noisy myna. So let's have a look. Which were the other ones that were recorded everywhere? Just see if that comes up. I'm looking again. I don't understand that table, to be honest. So pull that out. So there we go. So we won't revisit that. People can go back and watch that last Monday's stream and learn all about Jacinta's work. And I really hope Jacinta will be back on with me, because I think her work will be pretty significant over time, and hopefully some of the decisions that need to be made will be made, and things change. All right, folks. The music's done. I think we're done with Valentine's birds. I need something to eat, and I want to go and say hi to Shadow. Thanks, Lois. You got anything else you want to say? I do want to make you cockatoo noise. He makes that kissing noise now. It's taken him about 2 weeks to do that. When he was displaying, or he, she, it, Loz, was displaying earlier today, it was squawking, making like a cockatoo noise, spreading wing, bobbing up and down, but also kissing the shrubbery. Of course, anthropomorphizing. I don't think Loz has got any idea that noise represents a kiss. Do you? No, he's going to bed. Go to sleep. No. All right, last chance. Let's put feeding the ducks on, and we'll fade that out, and we'll just be here until that runs out, and then I'll be gone. Habitat Gardening, Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. We have fingers crossed that the people in Western Victoria are going to be okay with the fires that are going on over there. Amazing how no one's saying. Do you remember when South Australia had those big transmission towers blow down, and everyone was saying it was about renewable energy? Well, Victoria had 2 of them blow down in that amazing ferocious wind yesterday, but I haven't seen anywhere people are saying it's because of green energy, because no, they're coming from a coal-fired power station. But I haven't heard anyone say it's because of coal either. Our level of discussion in politics is bloody ridiculous, isn't it? Remember, everyone, you can always suggest. Oh, thank you, Naomi, too, for suggesting a guest. I will be chasing that person up. If there's things you'd like me to talk about, or people that you would like me to track down and try and get on the show, let me know. Well, there we go. I think I will fade it out. I'm not going to start that music again. Let's say goodbye until Saturday morning if you're into gardening for wildlife. And you can join me again, Grant. I'm a bird and plant nerd, and my avian media advisor, Loz. I'm sure Loz will be joining me. There we are. Good. Get a good shot of Loz. The green screen messes him up, doesn't it? Or messes it up. Look forward to seeing you again soon. I'm Grant. I'm a bird nerd. This has been the Bird Emergency. See ya.